Freedom. That big question, are you ready for it? It sounds so enticing. Freedom, oh, yes. Freedom from that bad job, that bad partner, your children, whatever it happens to be, freedom. But that's not true freedom, no. True freedom comes from within you, freedom from you. Freedom for you, true freedom. Very, very few beings have ever had it. They think about it. Some actually think that they are free because they live in a free country. And they've told that they have freedom, but that doesn't mean they're free. Just means that they have the illusion of freedom. But this whole dynamic of freedom, it has to do with money. It's one of the big issues. One of the grips that this lack of freedom has on consciousness. It goes directly through money. No freedom, no money. So it affects the economies. Plus the markets, financial markets, as you know, are about 500 years old. That's old. That's old right now. So they're having to go through a shift. Right? People that are holding on to the old ways, not just because of greed, but because of old ways, because they want tomorrow to be like today. Because for them, they have the money. You don't. So they want it to be like today. So there's this tremendous friction that's taking place right now. I've said before, the financial systems have already collapsed in a way. In other words, they are no longer backed by the trust that they used to have. Do you trust money? You trust the people who handle your money? And not that they're bad, but they're not in the same consciousness as you. Yes. To be free, it's important to forgive yourself. Not in the old Catholic or parochial way. Sorry, Pope. Not in an old religious way where you run around suffering your forgiveness. Not at all. True forgiveness is saying, that wasn't me. Sorry, looked like me, sounded like me. It actually wasn't, believe it or not. That was not me that did that. It was an aspect. It was yesterday. I'm not going to carry around that old luggage, emotional, physical, painful luggage anymore. What is more responsible? Walking around with that backpack filled with yesterday. Is that responsible? Walking around with who you used to be? No, it's a lot of things, but it's not responsible. So, what is more responsible, I ask? To continue with the old programming or to stop right now and say, that really was not me. That was a lot of things, but that was not me. Your past is a series of potentials, most of which have never been realized or understood. None of them, or very few of them, actually manifested. But you believe it's your past because of programming. But your past can be changed the moment you say, that was not my past. Suddenly, your past really isn't a series of chronological, linear events that took place. Suddenly, your past is no longer history or his story. Suddenly, the past is but one of many potentials or options that could have been played out. And now, literally, the moment you release yourself from your past, you suddenly realize how you can also change it tomorrow. And then you stop for a moment and say, this is me, watch this. Did you really get separated from spirit No, there's a very deep wound that you have from that goes way, way back to when you crossed through the wall of fire a long time ago. But it's also very current, very present. And you keep repeating separation over and over. So you have this anxiety. And the first thing about forgiveness is let go of that separation. You didn't get lost. You really didn't get separated. You just took a different path to have a different type of experience. Sin, sin, sin. Let's take a deep breath. Deep breath. There is no sin. There's no karma, unless you want there to be. Oh, it's been pounded into you, drilled into you. That's an interesting concept. But it's just not true. Sin begets sin. Do you realize that? Sin. And you're told, many of you are told you have original sin. Oh, and if sin begets sin, you're in for a wagon load of trouble. Because once you think you sinned, actually, there's kind of an interesting human consciousness phenomenon. Well, I already sinned. I'm already going to hell. I might as well really go for it now. What does it matter? I'm a sinner. Just go for it. And sinners really actually have never met somebody who's totally redeemed. That's the bad part. There's no standard. They just meet other sinners. Their world is filled with sinners. Who said that selfish was bad? Your mother, your father, your priest, the church, everybody, your brothers, your sisters, your lovers, your teachers, the list goes on and on. They're the ones that said it. There's nothing wrong with being selfish unless you believe in sin and separation. Well, let's do a forgiveness on all the old energy around selfish. And from this moment on, I put a good energy on that. A pleasing, joyful energy on taking care of yourself, loving yourself. Hardest thing a human will ever do, and the greatest thing a human will ever do, love themselves. Stupid. Really, I mean, it's a great one. It's the only S word I could think of that related to giving yourself a hard time for doing what you call are the wrong things. And it could be the little things, going to the wrong school, marrying the wrong person, whatever it is. But, there's so much of your brain talk is, oh, was I stupid? Oh, and it's all under the same category. I did the wrong thing. I shouldn't have. And it's all stupid self rather than I am self. There is a new voice. It's already there. Already there. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to read a special book or listen to a special program. It's already there. Always has been. You just haven't heard it. And it's a quieter voice because it's more real. It's more you. It's a balanced voice, and a voice that speaks the truth, not the S's, not these other things. It's a voice that's been waiting for a safe space and a quiet moment. It's the new voice of freedom. I'm going to call it today, What Dreams May Come. Yeah, what dreams may come. That's hope. Well, there's not a lot of hope on this planet right now. You can get transportation somewhere. You have a roof over your head, just enough. You'd like more, but got just enough. And that's keeping people out of their dreams. It's actually better when you lose your job and things are going to hell and you think you might have a terminal illness. That's when you start dreaming. That's when, oh boy, I better get my beep together and dream. Quick. What dreams may come. So I want to talk about our Halloween dream walk into the earthbound realms. Was it just some other dimension, not really here on the physical plane? Was it really the dimension? Was it really just the dimension of the dead and of the haunted and of the ghosts? I said it was earthbound. Maybe it was also the dimension of the living dead. The ones who repeat each day over and over. A little bit of hope. Maybe tomorrow something will happen. Next, the profound impact that this made when so many of you going out there, because you did go out also into the earthbound realms, which also contain mass consciousness, spooks, ghosts, and everything else, but it contains human consciousness. It contains the matrix out there. What you know is the matrix. In other words, preset conditions, hypnosis that's blocking humans and you from being free. It had a tremendous impact on what I would call the grid or the matrix. It's like a huge software program, and it's very difficult to change. Very difficult to change. There's not, using this bad analogy, there is not any single programmer that really knows how to change it. It is software gone awry, software that is protecting itself now. And it has been programmed with defense mechanisms that prevent change. That program up there, out there, that program is designed to keep tomorrow just like today. It's the choices and the thoughts of humans that have been going on for thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of years that have created this software program. And it's really easy to get stuck in it and to think that you don't have a way out. And then to live with that inner misery and that lack of hope and that frustration. What do I do to get out of this? And once in a while you make some lame effort to get out, and you're sucked right back. We did the dream walk. Imagine for a moment the implications on the programming, on the software. What's it going to do to it?
Shake it out.
Shake it out, absolutely. Not in a intrusive way, because we didn't go out there that way. Not in a collapse kind of way, because we didn't go out there that way. We went out there in compassion. So it too, this matrix of mass consciousness, it too will rebalance itself naturally. The more passion from the more people, we'll do it sooner. It might be 1,000 or 10,000 years, or it might be 1 year. Doesn't really matter, does it? No, because you're already shining your light of your dreams on yourself right now. What dreams may come? What potentials are there for you? And there are many, many, many. What to do? Talked about a new tomorrow, talked about what dreams may come, about freedom. The interesting thing is actually nothing. Actually nothing, except to keep breathing and allowing. You stand there right in the midst of the storm and it all happens. It's the acceptance, it's the forgiveness, it's the feeling into that new voice of freedom. It's like our dream walk the other day. You are in your own dream walk of your own tomorrow. You're just there in your presence. Suddenly, everything aligns itself with you to freedom. All I did was take a deep breath and say, all is well in all of creation. And so it is. Thank you, dear Sean Brown.